The BC government and Cowichan Nation said today they've reached an interim agreement to protect private property from the declaration of Aboriginal title in Richmond. But the move comes amid rising concern that governments are still signing away title agreements over vast swaths of land in secret. For more, let's bring in Rob Shaw at the BC Legislature once again for us tonight. So, Rob, tell us what's the latest here. What's new?
Well, Stacey, despite the attempts by the government to change the channel with its time change announcement today, there were two big parallel developments on the Aboriginal title and private property issue today. The first, a joint statement from the Cowichan Nation and province saying that while they both disagree with each other over last summer's landmark court ruling on Aboriginal title in Richmond, they are going to try and negotiate a settlement with neither side putting private land on the table. The statement reading that both parties are also proceeding with their appeals to the BC Court of Appeal for transparency. Neither the Cowichan Nation nor British Columbia are seeking to invalidate any privately held fee simple titles on the Cowichan title lands through the negotiation or appeal processes. There are more than 150 private landowners in Richmond who were affected by that August BC Supreme Court ruling. It put Aboriginal title above fee simple property rights in the province's legal hierarchy for the first time, including over a major industrial park, farms, and condo buildings. Now, the court instructed the government to negotiate with the Cowichan Nation, and Eby today said that means any type of settlement they might come to will not include losing private land. But BC is still appealing the case. They're still backstopping people's mortgages there, and they still want a legal declaration that private property rights trump all other in BC to provide that stability for the economy. This has been a subject of huge public concern, fuel for the opposition parties. Here's the Premier today.
It says that both the Cowichan and the government agree that the ownership of these properties, the ownership of the homes, is not in question, that people are able to use their homes, enjoy their homes, buy and sell their homes, that they fully own their homes. They're not being put on the table either in the negotiations or in the court action.
Ratcheting up anxiety, an announcement by Ottawa that it has agreed to recognize Aboriginal title of the Musqueam Indian band across a huge swath of Metro Vancouver without consulting BC, according to the Premier. This includes fishing rights, amongst other things. Here's a map. It not only encompasses Vancouver, Richmond, Burnaby, basically millions of people, but also not really recognizing the overlapping claims of other First Nations in the area, or really explaining what it means, especially in the wake of the court rulings. The Premier today saying he needs more details. The minister responsible telling the House BC haven't even seen the agreement. Here's that.
We've got a minister and a Premier and an Attorney General that can't clearly articulate their timelines on how they'll deal with an issue as important as the Cowichan decision. And now with this, the minister says, not my problem. Not my problem. Take it up with the federal government.
I think the lesson the federal government is learning over the weekend is that there is a heightened environment for these conversations and these agreements right now, and they have to go above and beyond. There's a lesson that the provincial government is in no position to lecture people on. We're doing our own work to make sure we're bringing people along on this as well. And we'll be engaging with the feds to understand the implications of the decision for the provincial government while recognizing the importance of this work to be done.
Just hours after insisting that Ottawa didn't brief him on the Musqueam agreement, he hasn't seen it, he doesn't know what is in it, the Premier's office clarifying that Eby actually attended the signing ceremony himself in person just last week on this issue, Stacey, throwing into question how that statement he made earlier could be accurate. Nonetheless, this is a very politically charged issue from Cowichan to Musqueam, not the last the government is going to hear with questions about these deals.